oils. What are the best oils to cook with? What are the best oils to stay away from? And what are some of the best oils to consume, but maybe not best to cook with? Okay, so one of the most common ones I see is vegetable oil. Absolutely terrible for you. Number one, what vegetable is it? Usually it's a combination of soybean and canola oil. Soybean oil is usually made from genetically modified soybeans. Anytime you genetically modify something, you're taking it away from the structure that nature intended it to be, which means the reason they're usually genetically modifying these things is so that they can handle more amounts of pesticides and herbicides without dying, which is not good, which means that every time you eat a GMO, you are potentially getting a large dose of these toxic chemicals to your body. And it's usually combined with canola oil. Canola oil is my #1 most toxic oil that you can see out there. In Europe, you can also call it rapeseed oil, if you guys want to understand what that word really is. Don't overlook these words and dictions because they're very important. They're telling of what they are. So vegetable oil is usually a combination of rapeseed oil and soybean oil. Terrible for you. Other common oils that we stay away from, for sure, are seed oils. The reason being is that seed oils denature extremely fast when cooked, and usually they're extracted through cheap processes with using hexane. However, there's other things that we want to take into account here because seed oils, organic seed oils, you might be like, well, they should be fine to cook with. That's not the truth either, because they will still denature fast and become rancid, and that rancid, by eating it, creates cardiovascular and other issues in our body with our liver, our gallbladder, and all of our digestive system. So we do not want to be consuming those. However, that's not to say that consuming a raw, organic sunflower seed oil under a certain protocol can't be what your body does need if it needs that specific type of omega. However, what are some of the oils that we maybe want to eat cold and we do not want to cook with? These are oils that I see very commonly cooked with and talked about is olive oil as well as avocado oil. Avocado oil gets so much publicity, and here's the thing about avocado oil. Yes, maybe it does have a high smoke point, but it doesn't have a high saturation point. So those are the two things that you need to look out for when you're talking about oils: smoke point, saturation point. You want it to have a high smoke point and a high saturation point so that while you're cooking with it, the oil does not denature, which means break down and start to rancidify, which then will cause issues once we digest. Olive oil is another one of those that is not super saturated. A lot of people cook with it. If I were to rank these, the seed oils and canola oils are all in the bad category. The cold oils, if you have to choose, I would rather have those cold oils cooked than those bad oils, but the better oils to cook with are gonna be 3 different types. We can use animal lard. In preferential, I do like tallow, beef tallow, things like that. Number 2, we can do butter, but the better version of butter for cooking is ghee. So butter, clarified, is ghee. And then finally, we can look at coconut oil. Coconut oil, unrefined, more I use for a skin oil, but then the refined version is going to take out any of those dense particles that could burn in the cooking process, which will raise the smoke point and the saturation point, and that is going to be what we're most importantly looking out for, which is going to be a refined coconut oil. Obviously, all 3 of them I'm going to recommend organic so that when you're cooking, you're not ingesting any type of toxic chemicals. A lot of people say, well, doesn't coconut oil have a lot of flavor as far as coconut? I don't really like coconut. For me personally, I've been cooking with it so long, I don't even notice the flavor, but the refined is going to have the least amount of quote unquote coconut flavor that you do have. But guys, sometimes it's about changing the way you think and perceive and moving yourself towards those health things that you are not pursuing. So make sure you're cooking with the right oils at home, because that's like putting a poison in these brand new organic food that you just made and drizzling some toxins on top. Do you want to do that? We don't. So use the right oils. Stay healthy.